bring you down to the border where the crisis becomes more desperate. Hear from families with sick babies, and no one here seems to know what's next.
County leaders share their plans as they prepare for the end of Title 42. We'll hear from Chairwoman Nora Vargas.
Plus, we sit down with El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells, who says federal help is needed for local cities near the border.
And we preview 4 days of fun. Gator by the Bay.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Conditions at the border keep getting worse as the clock ticks down to the end of Title 42. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. County and city leaders are expecting an influx of asylum seekers. And tonight, they're trying to figure out how to accommodate and shelter such a large number of people. We have team coverage for you throughout the hour. CBS 8's Richard Allen is at the border with more on the dangers many of these people face as they wait.
And our Steve Price has more on how county leaders are preparing. But we start out with CBS 8's Anna Laurel with the latest from San Ysidro tonight. Anna.
We've seen desperation, we've seen crying. What we have not seen are any authorities coming and picking these people up and taking them off today. And that's why a lot of them tell us they are here. They thought they would make it to the wall, that authorities would pick them up and start the process of letting them get into America. But what we've seen today, well, let's get to the video and you can see for yourself what we've seen.
We are suspending distribution until you make a line.
In the dirt with their children, starving, no shelter, just begging for food and water. I mean, I hope the president can see this because this is inhumane.
That's Denise McEwen describing what she saw when she brought food and water down to the border wall after hearing about all the people stranded here this week.
I'm seeing people in their eyes just begging for human rights, food, water.
It rained here last night. All people have are trash bags and pieces of plastic or clothes tied up to cover them. This family from Desperation has a 3-year-old son and a 3-month-old baby. Their clothes soaked through, totally wet. Is your country dangerous?
Yes, still yes. We are involved.
I saw Camilla as I walked along the wall. She was looking out through the slits, big tears rolling down her cheeks. She traveled here from Brazil. She turned 20 years old just last month. She says she's anxious, desperate, and afraid.
Ansiosa.
Beside her is another woman she met at the border from Brazil. Vanessa says she traveled 11 days to get here. She's been at the wall for nearly a week. She says she thought when she got here she would cross a river or a wall and then authorities would take her into custody and she could declare asylum.
É uma situação muito difícil.
She says the situation is sad, difficult, delicate. They've been given water and plastic wraps. They've been given little food and they're hungry and they don't know what's going to happen next. I asked everyone, why did you come this far? Why did you come here? And they all answered the same, just like Camilla.
Quero entrar para os Estados Unidos.
She says she wants to enter the United States for a better life. Here at the border, this is Anna Laurel for CBS 8.
Thanks, Anna. Our county leaders are also bracing for the end of Title 42.
CBS 8's Steve Price continues our coverage tonight with the steps they're taking.
With Title 42 coming to an end this week, local leaders are preparing for an increase of migrants and refugees in our county. This afternoon, Chairwoman Nora Vargas shared details on how the county is getting ready.
It's not a matter of if they're coming, but when and how many. County leaders admit there are still a lot of questions they can't answer.
We don't know where we are right now with the numbers and what's going to happen.
But Chairwoman Vargas says the county is taking steps to make sure we're prepared to keep everyone safe.
County medical authorities are working with the federal and state authorities to monitor the capacity to adequately provide the medical screenings that migrants need to have.
Vargas also says the county has secured a $35 million investment from the federal government to help local charities provide shelters and services.
What I want to make sure we emphasize is that this is a different county than it was before, right? We as a county understand that this is a federal issue and we need to make sure that there's a response from the federal government.
The concern is street releases, where shelters are so full that people entering the country are simply dropped at spots around town with no place to go. But Chairwoman Vargas is optimistic that won't be as big of an issue as it's been in the past.
The majority of the asylum seekers have a destination already, and so it's the processing that has to take place so they can reach their final destination intact.
She also believes new regional processing centers opening in Central and South American countries will help reduce the number of asylum seekers that need to enter our county.
What this means and why this is so important is because it's really intended to reduce the number of people that are coming into our borders.
Vargas also says she's been in communication with leaders from cities around the county to make sure there's collaboration, make sure everything possible is being done to make this as positive of an experience as possible.
It's important for me as a chair of the Board of Supervisors to remind folks that we are a welcoming county, and we're going to do everything we can to ensure that everyone that is here is treated with respect and with dignity.
Steve Price, CBS 8.
As people seeking asylum wait to get into this country, they could face even more dangers.
CBS 8's Richard Allen continues our coverage tonight. He is live at the border. Richard?
And Carlo and Marcella, that's right. Of course, starting tomorrow night, Title 42 officially sunsets, and we've already seen hundreds of migrants camped out at the border. Well, here in the city of Tijuana, thousands of other migrants have been hunkered down for the past days, weeks, months in dozens of shelters throughout this city. Now, we had the opportunity to visit one of these shelters called Casa del Migrante, which actually just celebrated 36 years here in Tijuana serving migrants. We got a first-hand look at why so many migrants are forced to flee their own countries and the dangers they face as they hope to enter ours. Now, one of those biggest dangers these migrants face is that of human smugglers who offer to transport them illegally into the United States for thousands of dollars, and that's often their life savings. Now, according to Customs and Border Protection, their officers have seen a spike in human smuggling attempts in recent months and weeks, and this is an increase that Supervisory Border Patrol Agent Daniel Anderson tells us that they expect to continue as Title 42 lapses, offering a warning about the threat that these smugglers pose to migrants.
Smugglers, they don't care about the humans and the lives that they're smuggling. They're in it for the money. The people they smuggle are just a commodity to them, no different than vegetables or drugs. They're just moving people for a profit.
And migrant rights groups tell us that whenever there's a significant change in border policy, like right now with the sunsetting of Title 42, human smugglers take full advantage of this mass confusion, preying on these migrants who are desperate for a way into the United States, exploiting them for their own profit. And in some cases, these migrants who are smuggled end up in forced labor or even in sex trafficking to pay off their debts to the smuggler. Now, coming up live on CBS 8 at 11 p.m. tonight, we'll have our full report on targeting migrants, the threat of human smugglers. Of course, human smuggling is one of the biggest threats that these migrants face. But of course, it's not the only threat. Also tonight at 11, we'll have a closer look at the good work these shelters here in Tijuana are doing, specifically Casa del Migrante, in trying to take care of and protect these migrants. Carlo and Marcella?
All right, Richard, thanks. The mayor of El Cajon is reaching out to the federal government, sending a letter ahead of tomorrow. Bill Wells says he is sympathetic to those seeking asylum, but says federal help is needed, especially in his city, he says, when it comes to shelter. He will sit down with our Jesse Pagan coming up new tonight in our second half hour. Make sure to stay with CBS 8 for all the updates on the ending of Title 42, which happens tomorrow at 8 p.m. We will have the very latest developments on CBS8.com. You can also follow us along on social media or download the free CBS 8 app.
Right now, the Coast Guard is searching for survivors of a small plane crash near San Clemente Island. This crash was first reported around 8 this morning. The aircraft was carrying 3 people when it went down. A crew from Coast Guard Air Station San Diego launched to help with the search. They found a debris field in the water about a mile southwest of San Clemente Island, but nothing else. The city of San Diego's plan to prevent traffic deaths needs more money, according to a coalition of city council members, safety advocates, and survivors of collisions. They gathered at City Hall today to say the city's safety plan, called Vision Zero, needs more funding in the city budget. That includes more resources for the city's Department of Transportation to better analyze crash report data. Vision Zero's goal is to eliminate traffic deaths in the city by 2025.
This city made a commitment to making our roads safer, and unfortunately we are farther away from that goal today than we were in 2015.
How effective has Vision Zero been so far? Public records obtained by CBS 8 show that 427 people have died in traffic-related collisions since 2015, the year Vision Zero started. CBS 8 has a full breakdown on Vision Zero's effectiveness so far. Just go to our website, cbs8.com, and click on this story.